Hello YouTube, it's Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're still here on this mini series. We're still counting down all of the knives that I bought in 2019. Of course, it's 2020 now, but in 2019 I spent a lot of money on knives. I'm shocked how many knives I bought. A lot of new knives. I've still saved some knives where I went outside of my comfort zone to buy some knives. A lot of Spydercos, new Spydercos, limited Spydercos, sprint run Spydercos. And because I had done a trimming, I had sold off knives, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I also went out looking for the knives that I really missed out of my collection. 3 of the 4 knives you see in front of you fall into that category. The Sage 1, the Sage 3, the Sage 4, and then the last knife is one I always wanted. I have an older version of this, but I always wanted this newer one, and I finally found it. I found all 4 of these brand new in a box, never opened, which is really nice. I love that collector. And that's the Michael Walker Sprint Run carbon fiber. And that's pretty important too. I thought this Michael Walker should be in this group for this video because the first Sage 1 celebrates Michael Walker's contribution to the knife community. So I thought that fit. The reason you only see 3 of the Sages, I love this series. It's one of my favorite series within a Spyderco collection, is that I looked at my Sages and I said, which ones do I want to keep and not sell? And I decided Sage 2, which I love, the titanium one, and Sage 5, which celebrated Spyderco's compression lock, were the 2 I wanted to keep, and I sold off these 3. And now I have them back. I have a complete collection along with the lightweight Sage 5. So let's talk about these knives. Okay, as you can see, the knives on my desk have really shrunk. The pile of knives on my desk. And after 16 videos, it should have, right? Whoops. But let's start with this. I went whoops because I thought instead of the Sage 1, I had picked up the Michael Walker. So the Sage series from Spyderco, it's Spyderco's contribution really to the knife community. They wanted to congratulate and really highlight the contributions of famous knife makers. And so what they did was they did a series based on knife locks. You know, when I was growing up, and I'm 60, so I'm older than most of you. You know, we didn't think about locks on folding knives. Almost all of them didn't have locks on them. Okay? But of course, locks on folding knives are a huge thing now. Especially when you talk about Spyderco and their compression lock and that sort of thing. But every lock, it's so important. And so what Spyderco did was look at the founders, the makers of those locks, and celebrate it within this series. Now, a couple of things about this series. Each knife has the same dimensions. So this Sage, Sage 1, and all the other Sages have this Spyderco full flat ground blade, S30V steel. They all have the same steel, S30V steel, which is great. 3-inch blade, and all of them have a 50-50 choil. You see that? I mean, these are truly Spyderco knives, right? They have all of that leaf-shaped blade, the full flat ground, the forward choil. The difference, okay, and they all weigh around 3.2 ounces. Around 3.2 ounces. Sage 4 is a little heavier, and you'll see the Sage 4 because it has so much wood on it. So Sage 1, and they're all 7.1 inches total. Okay, 3-inch blade, 2.6-inch edge, 7.1 inch total, and each and every one of them have a wire clip. Left hand, right hand, tip up. All of them have a wire clip, and they did a great job blending these into the scales. And of course, they're all different because of the locks. And in some cases, Spyderco tried to use scales that kind of sort of represented the time that these locks were created. So anyway, Sage 1 is a frame lock. You see the full stainless steel liners and the frame lock. So this celebrates Michael Walker, who created the frame lock. Just a real nice knife. And remember, Michael Walker is that last knife, the name of that last knife. Now, Sage 2, we have Sage 2 celebrates Chris Reeve. This isn't Sage 2, this is Sage 3. Sage 2 that I didn't want to give up because I love Chris Reeve knives so much is a full titanium knife, like most of Chris Reeve's Sabinzas, and it has a Chris Reeve integral frame lock, and that's what that celebrates. The third knife that you see right here, there actually were two of them. I used to own the other one as well. This is the blue G10 version, which is the original. And it also had a carbon fiber on top of G10 scale one as well. But this is with blue G10. This is celebrating Blackie Collins and his bolt action lock. See the bolt action lock? These are new. Sitting in a box for over a decade and they just fall. I love it because, again, this has the silver wire clip, right hand, left hand, tip up, has everything else all the other ones have. The lock is the big difference, and of course the scales. I love it because it's the perfect size. It's a 3-inch knife. Just perfect for this series. Now the third knife I sold when I originally got it, and I sold it to one of you during the trimmings. Every now and then I say my collection's too big and I sell off some of the knives. Only to people on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, turn on your notifications so you don't miss a sale when I decide to do it. This is by far now the most expensive knife. So few of them were purchased. All of these knives, except for the Sage 5, is discontinued. This was the first to be discontinued, really. Not the first, but it was discontinued the quickest. People just did not want this heavy backlock knife. I loved it. I couldn't wait to get it, and then I sold it. And couldn't find it for less than $500 until I found a new one at the real good price. So this is, did I say, well, Sage 3 was the blue one. This is Sage 4. I'm sorry if I messed them up. Sage 4. This has ironwood scales, titanium bolsters. The transition is unbelievable, going from titanium into this ironwood. Looks older fashioned. I love the clip and how it blends into that ironwood. Backlock. Hard to find these. And if you do find them, they cost. Um, I just love it. See how it snaps back. The Sage 4 celebrates Al Moore and his contributions to the backlock. Al Moore and his contributions to the backlock. So now I have all of my sages at home again. But while I was looking for the sages and some of the other knives, and I found this wonderful Spyderco collector who still kept them in the boxes in a safe, untouched. I asked them, do you have the Michael Walker Sprint Run? And they said, yes. I have the Michael Walker with, I think, what is my Michael Walker? Anyway, I have one of the original Michael Walkers. And this one is a beauty. It has carbon fiber. By the way, all of the knives that I'm talking about now and all of the knives I've talked about during this series, you can find an individual video on the Knife of the Day. This entire series, I think this is either part 16 or 17, I have a playlist for, and also I've included them on the Knife of the Day, so you can check out all of them and get more details on these knives that I'm able to give to you today. Sprint Run, carbon fiber, see-through construction, drop point knife, and listen to this, special ZDP 189 steel. It's just an excellent steel. That's the thing about a Sprint Run. You get the materials that you don't get on the regular one. ZDP 189 steel is just excellent. And this wonderful, great carbon fiber. Hollow ground blade, 2.6 inches. It's a nice smaller knife. 2.4 is the edge. It has the liner lock, regular clip, just right hand, tip up. It's a nice gentleman's folder. Just so well done, so classy, so beautiful. Only weighs 1.9 ounces. Just a nice knife. Only 6.2 inches total. And I wanted to round this out with my 3 sages that I bought in 2019. Since I did buy it in 2019, and since Sage 1 celebrates Michael Walker and his contribution to the knife community with the liner lock. So that's it. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications. If you like this series, if you like these knives, don't forget to thumb it up. Let me know that you like it. I've really been enjoying the comments. You know, you guys can go and check out the comments too. A lot of people give a lot of more information than I do about these knives, and it really helps to build a community. I will be trimming. Don't ask me when, I don't know. No knives are for sale right now until we do a trimming. I don't sell through email, so don't email me. Subscribe, turn on your notifications. I let everyone have the same chance to buy knives. I appreciate all of you guys. You take good care of yourselves. I hope your 2020 has been good so far. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.